going on? Welcome back to James Redmond TV. Let me get these shitty gigs off for us, Redmonds. Anyway, what's going on, people? Welcome back. How are we? Hope you're having a marvellous day, as always. And welcome back to another Redmond Roundup, or like a Redmond Daily, whatever you want to call it. It's under the Redmond Roundup franchise. But welcome back, people. Welcome back indeed. We've got some news, as always, to get into, and even a little debate at the end of the video. But the first thing that I want to get into in today, we're just going to go in like I don't know what like, can't even think of an example. But the first piece of news, well, let me talk about a brief of what we're going to be talking about today. So obviously, I know over the past few days there's been a few rumbles about Renato Sanches, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about whether Origi could be involved in a swap deal. Very interesting. Also, Salah and his situation, whether he's going to go to Real Madrid or not. Gini Wijnaldum's contract situation. And also Liverpool coming out and saying that they don't, I repeat, they don't want to buy a centre-back. All this and more to be discussed in the comments down below. Also, I'm going to give you a little debate, like I said at the start. But first, I want to talk about the Renato Sanches very quick, and I'll do this very briefly because a lot of you have been asking for my opinion, whether I think there's any substance to it, whether I think it can happen. There's been rumours coming out saying that he's going to be Gini's replacement. Now, in case you don't know enough about Renato Sanches, and I'm sure everyone knows who Renato Sanches is, but I mean about the player, because in a lot of people's heads, the picture of Renato Sanches is going to be that 18-year-old wonder kid who played for Portugal and smashed it in the Euros. I don't know if he's quite that same player. Yeah, it is just a bit to put into perspective. According to Who Scored, which is a website I use a lot, pointless plug, but 6.98 average rating on Who Scored. All I'm trying to offer to you is that that's not a bad rating, but I was even looking at his interceptions, his tackling, his defensive stats, as well as his attacking stats. And don't get me wrong, they don't look terrible, but even 8 appearances this season with 1 goal, with him being 23 years of age as well, he's not 18 or 19, he's 23. I don't know, it's just, I don't think he'd be a bad player. I think Jurgen Klopp could probably turn him into a good player, but I just don't think it's one of them ones. Like, I think there's better options out there for in and around that age group, and you know, he's valued at 18 million in itself, and Liverpool will probably be looking, maybe paying less than that, but maybe even more than that. We don't know. I should have probably looked more into the price. In fact, the price that I saw rumoured was 20 million, which isn't a bad price tag, but when you consider you got Thiago for the same, and then you're going to throw the argument to me, but Thiago's about 50, he's not 29, but you get the analogy I'm trying to make for this point. All I'm trying to offer to you is that Renato doesn't really add much to our squad. Now, do I think there's any substance to this? Not really, because even though that it was viral on like Twitter and like Facebook and all that, and it was all over the Liverpool internet world, mate, I just don't think it's going to happen. There's been no legit journalists that have came out and said, right, this piece of news is going to go down and this is going to happen in the January transfer window. I just, and also I don't know why Jurgen Klopp would want to do it, and I don't really see the view of Edwards. Now, if he came, would I support him? Yes. And would I big him up a little bit? Of course I would, because we've saw him do good things, and when you see a player do good things and you mix him with a manager who knows how to get the best out of players, and surely that creates something, whether it's good or bad or whatever, it creates something, and I think Renato Sanches would do well under Klopp. I just think there's better options out there, but let me know in the comments down below what you think. We'll move into the Salah news, and then we'll talk about Origi, but I feel like a lot of people have been itching to know about what's happening with Mo Salah. Even in the comments of my last video, people were like, James, you taking the piss, he can't leave. I'm with you, I am with you. Listen, we're the same. We're the same, because I'm with you. We're on the same boat together here, people. I want Salah to stay. If you asked me, would I take Mbappe over Salah right now, I'd say no. Do you want me to tell you why? Because Salah's underrated and he's one of the best players in world football. Right now, could arguably be the best. Could. Arguably. But he's got to be in that conversation. He really, really does. Honestly, mate, he's having a season like no other, and obviously with the rumours coming that he might be, you know, wanting to leave and wanting to go to Real Madrid, there was other things about the captaincy and whatnot. Listen, let Uncle James just break this down for you. I don't know if he's going to stay at Liverpool for the rest of his career. Let me get that out there first. I don't even know if he's going to see out his prime. But I am very confident we've got Salah for the rest of this season, and I'm very confident we've got him for next year as well. I'm okay with it if it's at least 2 more years. And don't get me wrong, I'd prefer it to be longer because I think Mo Salah can be great. But, I mean, in 2 seasons' time is when Liverpool will have to at least start thinking about future replacements. Not saying selling there and then, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. So that's the first thing that Uncle James wants to get across. The second thing is, these rumours have been created out of the fact he weren't a captain for 1 game. They've been created out of the fact he got an interview out of nowhere getting asked about Real Madrid and Barcelona, which, by the way, you can't really rule out. News has now came out that Liverpool want to extend that contract, Mo Salah's contract, because his current contract holds or expires in 2023. But Liverpool are looking on extending that. Why would that be the case if we're looking on selling him anytime soon? And, I mean, of course, it's all up to Salah and the ball's in his court, but why would he want to leave, mate? He's idolised at Liverpool, and even though there might be more steps to do, he's done it in the Italian league. He's done it for us, Maybe there is one more step, and that could be going to La Liga and doing it for Real Madrid, Barcelona, the 2 biggest clubs on paper in the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, why would you leave when everything's going so perfectly? And even Salah came out and said, I want to win the Premier League and the Champions League with Liverpool in 1 season. Now, is that a marker to say that I'm going to leave after that? I don't know, but all I can say and all I can give to you is I don't think so. But let me know what you think in the comments down below as well. I think my case on Mo Salah is most certainly made 100%. But anyway, Divock Origi, one that I feel is a player that splits the fan base. And he split my brain. Let me tell you why. Because there's one part of me where when I think of Divock Origi, I just can't help but feel so much love, so much admiration for what is such a gorgeous specimen of a human being. That is the name of Divock Origi. The 2 most beautiful nights of my whole entire life. Dortmund 4-3 and Barcelona 4-0. No nights will ever come closer to them. I don't care if I do not care if it's the day itself and I have a child or I have a pair of twins. If that's on the same day as Dortmund or on the same day as Barcelona, we're celebrating the Barcelona-Dortmund occasion more than the fact that it's my kid's birthday. Do you hear what I'm trying to say to you? They were big moments in my life, and Divock Origi was a massive part of both of them. But then that's where the split happens, because that's one side of my brain. Then the other side is when you put it into like a lot of perspective. He's had, I think since the 16-17 season, he hasn't scored more than 5 goals in a campaign. His best campaign overall came the one, I think, that season where he got 7 goals and 3 assists. Obviously, since then, he's had a loan spell at Wolfsburg, which never went well. And them infamous games against Barcelona and then the game against Spurs in the Champions League final. Another amazing occasion of my life that Origi was a part of. But even though he's had all these great moments, and I will never forget what Divock Origi has done, when we talk about moving forward, what does Divock Origi offer to this squad? Now, I know there's many big advocates. In fact, shout out to my man Drifty, a massive Divock Origi advocate, and I love Drifty. But if I was to ask him this question, then why, Drifty, my mate, if you're watching this, obviously, shout out Team Coppish. If you're watching this and you're screaming at the screen saying, James, what are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Divock Origi, what does he add to this squad? If we're talking about going forwards and becoming a better team, because this was boss, this is us winning the Champions League, by the way. That was amazing, but we've got to think about moving on from that and building from that. We can't just stay there. What does Divock Origi add to this squad when he's playing? And when he's not scoring? What else does he do? You can say he's okay at pressing, but is he good at pressing? No, he's not. Let's not put, shadow over the minute. He is lazy. Even Alisson and Firmino came out and said that. And that's what the vibes I get off Origi when he's on the pitch. He's someone that you need to play to their strengths. But we're Liverpool Football Club. You've got to find a way to adapt to us. We don't need to adapt to you. Now, that's probably now leading you to ask the question, well, James, what do you want? Do you want Divock Origi to go, or do you want him to stay? If you ask me, I think we can get a better option. I really, really do, people. I think there's many strikers, many attacker midfielders that'll come in and fill a void that when there's not a Firmino available or a Jota available for that number 9 role, then they can slot in and not only just have a chance of scoring, but have a chance of having a massive impact on the game. Because even though Origi can get a goal, and I'm not disputing that, he doesn't really get involved besides it. If you disagree in the comments, let me know and give me reasons why you disagree. But what has Origi done over the past couple of seasons to suggest that he is good enough to be Liverpool's backup starter? And I also want Liverpool's backup starting number 9, or backup number 9 should I just say. I want them to try and fight for that number 1 spot. Origi has no chance of getting above Firmino or Jota, even though he's 25. So anyway, now I'll lead on to the news, and like I said, I'll ask you in the comments down below what you think on Origi. And if you're in the same boat as me and you want him to go, who would you bring in for him? But anyway, the piece of news is that he could be on his way out, and it could be a swap deal for Schalke's 23-year-old centre-back, Ozan Kabak. Now, obviously, Liverpool have been linked with Kabak quite a bit, and I don't think there's a lot of substance to this, but I do believe there's substance to Origi going. And would I be, against this deal? Not really, because I do want Liverpool to get a centre-back, but there is also other news around the centre-back situation, which makes me doubt this rumour, but I do believe Origi could possibly be on his way in January. It's just a case whether you'd want him to or not. Anyway, what else is there to talk about here? Gini Wijnaldum and his contract situation is something to talk about, because the last time that we was updated on this, there was rumours that he was going to be offered a new contract, and since there hasn't really been anything else stimulating from that tree. So when I come back to you with the news, nothing's really changed. It's just one of them with Liverpool right now. They're not offering Gini a contract. I don't know why, but it could also be to do with Gini. We don't know. He's being linked with like Barcelona, with Ronald Koeman and other clubs as well, other big clubs where he can go and challenge himself, but also start. When you put yourself in Gini's boots, and I'm not saying he wants to leave, I don't think he does. I think Liverpool, if they offered him a good enough contract and told him straight what his role is going to be, they keep him. Klopp wants to keep him. It's just about negotiations, I feel. But say if it is Gini, and say if he does want to go, you have got to kind of understand it, because even though he is doing very well, we've got a young and upcoming Curtis Jones, we've got Thiago who's set to come back, and let's be honest, it doesn't surprise me if Thiago comes back into the team, absolutely smashes it, and then all Liverpool fans kind of forget about Gini Wijnaldum. Not like forget about him, but in the sense that, he'll be benched and no one will really want to see him in the starting 11, because that's what it was like at the start of the season, when it was like, our best midfield 3 is Fabinho, Thiago and Hendo. And even when Fabinho was able to go back in midfield, what do we do? Is there a starting spot for Gini? And I will lead on to that question in a minute, because that's going to be a part of the debate. But I just think he's won everything at Liverpool. He's won a Prem, he's won a Champions League. Yes, not the League Cup or the FA Cup. Who gives a fuck? He's won the 2 main trophies that you want to go ahead and win. What more does he need to do in England? Not much. He scored in big games also. I would understand if he wanted to leave. However, if I am Edwards and I am Liverpool, you do everything you fucking can to get that, to keep that man, because he is unreal. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is Liverpool not... reports suggesting Liverpool will not go out and buy a centre-half. Like I said earlier, I feel like we do need to go out and get a centre-half. I feel like there's many options out there that we could at least look at. That being said, I understand that Reece Williams has stepped up. I understand that Phillips has stepped up. And it gave us a broader amount of options as well. But I just think with Matip being so unreliable, it's just hard to tell Fabinho to just stick with Reece Williams or Nat Phillips for the rest of the season. Do you hear what I'm saying? But let me know if you disagree. Anyway, last thing, I want to ask you, because I feel like this is a good topic of conversation, who is our best midfield 3? And I'm very interested to hear what you've got to say, because if you ask, because think about it, it's probably easy to say Fabinho, Thiago and Hendo. It's easy to say that. But hindsight is also a very beautiful thing. And look what Gini does. He can do everything. Look what he does for Netherlands, and then look what he does for Liverpool. Completely different roles, but he does them so well. Do you hear what I'm saying? And that is a sign, my friends, of a world-class player. Now let me talk about Thiago. Mr. I can dictate Champions League finals whenever I want. Mr. I can win anything with whatever team I want. Thiago looks like he's about to step into a Liverpool team, not even play, and win trophies. That's how good Thiago Alcantara is. But no, here's the point that I'm trying to make. You've got him. Then you've got young and upcoming Curtis Jones. Then you've got Mr. Capitano and Henderson, who's been playing unreal. And when he doesn't play, he's undoubtable. He's undroppable, Henderson, when he's fit. He's that much of a leader. Then you've got Fabinho, Mr. I am the best offensive midfielder in world football, and I am solid as bricks. All these great options. What is your best midfield 3? What is it? if you ask me, I'm going to go with... I've gave myself a headache there, people. Oof. This is going to be a strong one. I hope you use it. Darth joining in this in the comments down below. I'm going to say, you can't dispute Henderson. Hendo Nino, my captain, you know the score. You can't not have Thiago in that midfield somewhere. Even though maybe not for Liverpool, he gets in the Liverpool midfield. That's how good he is. So that's what I'm trying to offer to you. When everyone's fit, what's our best midfield? Not even just off what you've seen based on the players that they are. Yeah, Thiago goes in there for me. So Hendo, Thiago, and Fabinho. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, people. But, have I made the right choice? Yeah, right now I think that's our best midfield three if everyone's fit. You know, including Van Dijk and them lot. But I feel like I have just probably upset a few people with all the points that I was making about Gini. But all the more reasons why Gini might want to leave. But anyway, make sure that you're interacting in the comments down below with everything that I've talked about in this video. Also, people, this may be the last video I make before I hit 20,000 subscribers. I'm going to do it, I'm thinking about doing like a live stream or something like that, just where you can ask me questions and whatnot. I haven't quite thought it out, but I'm going to think about it. We're like 50 or 40 away subscribers from 20,000. Can I just say to you people how boss you all are? Can I just say that to you? Because when I started posting, this channel's about over a year old, but when I started posting just before the season, I said this season, I'm going to make sure it's the year that I am consistent. I'm going to make sure it's the year that I work hard and I support my team the same, but I show you my love for my team and I bring you all along on this journey with me and make hopefully the Liverpool experience of watching the match and then watching the fans react to it. I hope I can be some sort of help and make your day somewhat better by doing them videos, because I love doing them and they wouldn't be as easy to do without your support. I'd probably still do it because I never started this for money. I never started this for fame or fucking all that bollocks. I started it because I love Liverpool Football Club and I love interacting with people. And to see the support that you show, whether you've came here from another channel or whether you've found me by yourself, whether you know me from Sadio Mane Kid or whatnot, whatever reason you're here, even if you're here and you don't like me, but you're just clicking on videos because you might be interested in what I've got to say, but you might think I'm a knobhead. Just nice one for being here. I know I'm a knobhead. I can be a knobhead. I can come across as the biggest dickhead on road sometimes, but I do try and be sincere on camera and I do try and be open-minded to everyone's opinions, and I also try and be appreciative for the support that you give me, because without your support, this is nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got people I can thank and whatnot, but that'll be all day. I just want to thank you. So thank you very much, people, for 20,000 subscribers. Get something done for that soon, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.